joining us now in the studio to talk more about that hearing entitled "The Assault on Women's Freedoms: How Abortion Bans Have Created a Healthcare Nightmare Across America" is Melissa Ohden, founder and CEO of the Abortion Survivors Network. Melissa, good to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
So obviously, as an abortion survivor, this is really personal to you. What did you think about the hearing today? What was your overall take?
The overall take was, first of all, the very title of the hearing was inflammatory. That's preparation going in, you know what to expect. I overall felt like there was some listening that happened today that I haven't seen otherwise, even amongst, the members of the committee. But by and large, it was what we would typically see in election year, which is they have an agenda, and this was part of it.
Yeah. Was there anything that struck out the most to you about today's hearing?
That really, as a pro-life witness, we were the only ones talking about the fact that women deserved resources and support. All you heard from the other side was ban, access, abortion, abortion, abortion.
Yeah. Talk to us a little bit more about that. Why do you think that a culture of life isn't being promoted more? Why federal dollars aren't put into that?
That was one of the big questions I talked about today. I shared the story that was mentioned in the Washington Post recently. A woman named Evelyn had 2 medication abortions that failed. She was then provided $12,000 for a late-term abortion in New Mexico, which she didn't have because she was too far along for it to be completed by the abortionist there. And that was really the question that I begged of that committee today is, what would it look like if we spent that kind of funding on education and employment and housing and all the supports that we know women need, medical and mental health care, and the children as well. That's, for me, what women's empowerment truly looks like. So why don't they embrace it? Because I'm pretty sure we need to follow the money.
Yeah. What was the reaction to your testimony today?
Kind of what it usually is. I see crickets. It feels like I'm sort of this white elephant sitting in the middle of the room that nobody wants to talk about. The only thing they did say at the end was that saline abortions, which is the type of procedure I survived, that those abortions aren't performed anymore. That's the response to someone like me in the room as they are talking about women's rights and having control over their bodies.
That's kind of shocking, but you're not used to that. You've been to several of these hearings, and to that point, what do you hope comes from this hearing? Do you think anything at all?
I think that good does come from it. Anytime we can have that discussion, and I think it's bringing together pro-life doctors like Dr. Christina Francis, who was there today, and myself, who can share both the professional side and the personal side. And we really need to share more stories. It takes a lot of courage to stand up in the face of what we experience in those kind of committee rooms. But that's what it's going to take, is more stories to be told, because one story they can try to silence, one voice, but when we start raising our voices together, that becomes an even louder clamor.
Absolutely. And thank you for always sharing your story and for being a witness. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless.